Great. So, welcome community to another AMA session. In here we have Stefan, who's gonna be presenting this project, likewise with Sky Monkey. But before we go into the project, I'll start from you, Stefan. You want to tell us about you and how you got involved into the crypto space?
Yeah, sure. My name's Stefan. I live in Port Alberni on Vancouver Island in Canada. And Ed is actually the guy who brought me into crypto. About a year and a bit ago, he started introducing me, probably about a year and a half ago. I'd bugged him enough about getting into crypto that he started showing me different things, like how to make my wallet and different groups. And then we started talking, and I was going through a divorce at the time and utilizing LifeWorks myself for counseling services. And kind of together we came up with the idea of it would be an amazing opportunity if we could find a way to bring these benefits to the crypto space, because it was something that we'd seen that hadn't been done before. And it's also something with the bear markets and the ups and the downs. It's something that, everybody needs to know that they're not going through whatever pain they're going through alone. And this was the perfect way for us to bring it forward. So we started working together.
You bet. I guess we'll segue into me. I'm Ed Curva, and I live in Parksville, British Columbia, which is about a half an hour or 40-minute drive from where Stefan lives. And when we started talking about this project, initially we started off with the idea of men's mental health, because of course we're men, and we recognize the need for mental health services and the need for it in crypto as well. But we quickly came to the conclusion that we wanted to be much more inclusive than that and do something that involved, everybody, and not keep it so tunnel visioned, if you know what I mean. And, during Stefan's divorce, he was utilizing LifeWorks services for their online therapy. And, he came to me with this idea. And to be honest, at first, I didn't quite grasp how we would do it. It took quite a bit of brainstorming. But we eventually found a way that we could bring these services to market in a fully legitimate way. And so what we did is we created our corporation, Mental Services Inc. And you can see in our pin posts in our group, you can look it up. It's easy to find. And we started having conversations with the global wellness company LifeWorks as to how we could bring this to the crypto market and potentially later on beyond. And of course, a little bit about LifeWorks. They're the world's largest global well-being company, and they have 15,000 corporate clients, and they have 26 million users. And what they do is they offer therapy, they offer legal advice, they offer telemedicine, which is huge. They offer financial advice. They also have a fitness app with fitness instructors and coaches. They have a myriad of workshops and group therapies. They go on and on, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I myself, I've owned a landscaping company here in Parksville for 22 years. I started it when I was about 24 years old, 45, 46 now. And I'm a certified horticulturalist, and so traditionally I've built landscapes and I run a maintenance division as well. But the last couple of years I've had a few health issues, and I've been big into crypto since 2017, and before that I was really heavily into torrenting communities and peer-to-peer file sharing sites and places like WinMX in the old days, in the before time. And so it was just a natural progression to move into crypto. And given that my health conditions don't let me exert myself the way that I have in the past physically, this is a really good move for us, and so we're just excited to be here.
That's really amazing. I just want to ask real quick, and Stefan, are you a military guy?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I work in the tech industry, actually. Right now I'm in the fish farming industry, but my main business experience is all with IBM. I worked with IBM up until 2000, and then left there and started an internet service provider. Ran that for a few years, and then kind of took a break from computers, and that's when I fell into fish farming and kind of just working it. It's still in computers, but I work with oxygenation and stuff like that now. And for now, and so I'm kind of stepping back in my tech role with MiND.
Oh, that's really amazing. I was just asking because maybe I didn't see it quite. I was just asking based on your cap that you put in on. It looks more like a military guy.
Yeah, I
But
like
that's
my camo.
He likes to
that,
blend in.
so yeah, let's get involved with what Mind Token is all about. But before that, I would like to ask you guys, have you guys been involved in with other projects before? I mean, aside from Mind Token, have you guys been involved in other projects?
Yeah, I've been involved in multiple projects, but it's been on a moderator level. The last project I was in, and quite frankly, it didn't fare that well. I was more of a spokesperson for. They had a great utility, but they had not a very strong English dialect, and so I jumped in with them and I helped promote the project. But that project I didn't have any actual control over. Like, I wasn't in control of the contract, I wasn't in control of the marketing. I would show up for AMAs and help manage the community. But it was a good learning curve at any rate. But this is the first project where I'll have 50% control of the contract. Him and I are in control of the marketing funds, and so it's a good move for us, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like I said before, I was just getting into crypto. I know a lot of bit about business, and I come from an outside of the box kind of point of view. And a lot of our new and innovative ideas come from Ed and I talking about things, and me saying, "Well, why can't we do it this way? This is how it's done in business." And then we just kind of get through our discussion and bring it out in a way that it works for business and crypto.
Yeah, and we have a really talented people in the background for us. Our developer is a developer of another project, and he's also a contract developer and creates a lot of contracts for projects. And him and his whole crew are behind us. We've also got the guys from DGEM, who's going to be our launch pad for this project. And they've gone over all of our maths and made some adjustments and just kind of guided us along as far as a few things that we were kind of missing in the system. We also brought on Conda Labs as a marketing company, and they've been absolutely fantastic. So we're in really good hands. I mean, we know what we've created. We know our product really well. It was a few gaps in our knowledge, especially in the marketing division, because we're not professional marketers. And so for that reason, we brought on a company who are really good at what they do. They have well, right now their pre-sale fill rate is 100%, and so that's really big for us. But they're not just coming with us to launch; they're going to be working with us post-launch as well. And so we had Jules from DGEM and their developer as well go over all of our maths and change a few things up so that we would have a stronger marketing power and that our pre-sale tokenomics and our launch tokenomics would set our chart up to be successful. And so, we've recognized the areas where we needed help, and we've reached out to the right people to find it.
Yeah, longevity and longevity of the project is really important for us. Being about mental health and the services that we're providing through the staking and the NFTs. We don't want anybody to get stuck using the services and then have us drop out. So we've gone purposely slow. We're bringing on a very organic member base into our group, and just ensuring that the people that we're bringing on board are in this for the right reasons.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, we were.
Go ahead.
Okay. We had worked for approximately 9 or 10 months before we even created any socials because, well, for one thing, we think our idea is really unique. I mean, we're partnered with a multinational publicly traded corporation that's been in existence for 56 years. And we had all that lined up before we even opened a Telegram or created a Twitter. And when we started out, the only thing that we were missing, because Stefan and I paid for everything. We paid for the corporation costs, we paid for the LifeWorks partnership and membership, all the way. Well, we still are out of pocket. And so the one thing we were missing when we started was a properly coded website. And so we started off with about $800 in just basic marketing. We did some Reddit posts. We did a small little PooCoin run, and that generated enough money for us to have our own web developed and coded. One of the projects I was in the past, one of the big issues was that we couldn't get the person who hosted the website to make changes fast enough. And so if there was faulty information on the website or something changed, we couldn't get it dealt with fast enough. It would be weeks. It was really frustrating. And so for that reason, we had the website coded and hosted ourselves, so that if there are issues, we can deal with it immediately. And Stefan's a huge help with that because his tech experience in the .com era, he did a lot of stuff with, I guess, I don't know what you call it. You're the brains on that one, but like,
I did a lot of web development,
flash web development and so on.
Shockwave pages.
Yeah,
stuff
so
that we can't use anymore. It was Shockwave and Flash were hacked pretty bad, and it took Macromedia almost out of the industry. But now it's all coming back now. There's new Flash. There's new secure Flash pages I've seen out there.
And Steph, but the transferable skills are what I'm driving at. Where Stefan's really good. He's able to deal with all the HTML5 stuff and make changes and buttons and all the good stuff that we need, and which is really handy because we've already done a rebrand and brought our theming closer to a wellness feel that kind of fits in with LifeWorks branding and just kind of a calming sort of thing, because that's the MO of our project, of course.
That's really amazing. One of the reasons why I was kind of curious if you guys have been involved in other projects is because I mean, that's one of the things that keeps the investors' mind at ease, right? Because I've seen a couple of projects where the people behind the project, they didn't have much experience because they've never had a project before. So them having a new project and they want to work on can give them a less advantage because they don't have much experience and stuff like that. But with you guys being involved with other projects, it shows that even with this one you guys are having right now, you guys how it's gonna work out, things you have to put in place to make it, looks great. And I mean, I'm not trying to say you guys are gonna, maybe you believe you're gonna hit, promise the investors, hey, you're gonna hit 100 million market cap. I mean, the truth is no one can predict the market, right? But with your experience, it shows that you can make some certain things work right in place because you've been involved in project and you have that experience. In my opinion.
And I would add to that as well that we have very intentionally started out slow so that we could build to a crescendo, and we've kept our ass really low. We've kept our starting market cap, around fully diluted. I think we're based on the last time I measured it on BSC or BNB, around 195,000 market cap. And, we did these things so that we wouldn't have this, kind of terrifying runaway train that we weren't able to manage. We wanted to be able to manage this because, again, like Stefan was saying before, we're dealing with people's physical and mental and financial health here. And that's a potential burden on us. People's lives could hang in the balance. And so, everything we've done has been with the idea of sustainability of the project surviving long term. We've left multiple avenues open that we can choose what direction we're heading, because the honest truth is that this project is really, really, really scalable. We can keep adding and adding and adding, and that's the wonderful thing about it. And so, and like I say, when it came to the tokenomics and stuff, we did make some changes on the advice of DGEM and Pat, their developer, just for, staking longevity and survival, and for pardon me, and for having, a solid marketing fund post-launch, right? So right now, even with a small ask, we're looking at a $30,000 marketing budget post-launch. And, I think that's really going to be crucial because we need to be getting out there and creating partnerships in a big way. That's a big part of what MiND Token is going to do, but we'll get into that when we get to the staking part of the conversation, I think.
Amazing. That's really great, and I'm even happy that you guys got involved with people who are really, really experienced, especially with the DGM people. I know one of the great team, Katore, is really one of my great friends. So I'm really happy you guys got involved with them as well. So let's get involved with MiND token. How does MiND token works? There might be a couple of people who are here and they must have been hearing about MiND token. Even I myself, the first time I heard about that, I was like, is it something that has to do with our brain, physical health or something like that? But yeah, I'm happy to hear about what it's all about and how it works.
Sure. So I mentioned LifeWorks earlier on, and how they have 15,000 corporate clients, 26 million users. They're the largest global wellness company, and we're blessed that they took us seriously and got behind us, because we're a small startup business to them. I mean, they're massive. But they took us very seriously, and they really got behind us. And so we had multiple conversations with Rod Ezekiel, who's one of the boss type guys there, and as to how we could bring this service to market, because there's a bit of a caveat in that we don't actually sell LifeWorks services, but we're able to attach it to other aspects. And so what we did is we created a staking system whereby, and that's all developed and ready to go. But what happens is that we're going to have multiple pools, and the lower pool will have lower APYs, and the higher pool will have higher APYs. But the big deal is that every person who stakes gets an onboarding invite from LifeWorks, and from there they're able to access mental health services, including referrals and connections to mastered accredited psychologists, as well as referrals to in-person sessions if you need them in their area. They have a massive network. They also offer telemedicine, and we're talking about 5 to 10 minutes you're speaking to a general practitioner. That practitioner can diagnose you for basic maladies. They can set you up with a referral to a specialist if they feel you need a specialist. They can write prescriptions and send it off to your pharmacy. They've also got financial experts in there who can help you with managing your finances or any stress and advice that you might need there. They've got a fitness app with professional fitness instructors and all sorts of little heart rate monitors, Apple Watch kind of stuff. And so it's a massive diverse service. In fact, if you don't mind, at some point I'll screencast inside of the LifeWorks app, because we have a MiND token feed inside of the LifeWorks app. And I think that often for people who are looking at us and they say, geez, how can this actually really be? Well, we're able to show them that MiND token is inside of the LifeWorks app. So except your screencast button is not here. Where is it? This is different. There it is. All right. All right. So this is our MiND token feed inside of the LifeWorks app. And forgive me if I'm looking at my TV's up quite high. But as you can see, front and center, we've got the Get Care Now button. And through there, you can go to either an IRC style chat, where you can just type chat with somebody, or you can go and have a Microsoft Teams video conference with a therapist. There's, as I mentioned before, they also have, they're a massive company. There's 26 million users, and so sometimes they don't load so quick here. And again, front and center, they've always got this. This is the Canadian 1-800 number. These services for the gold package, that includes telemedicine, that includes the gold package is everything, and they'll be live, or they are live, in Canada, the United States, and the UK on launch. However, mental health services are completely global. It doesn't matter where in the world you live. And so we're able to add that gold package to up to 60 countries globally, and that's the biggest reach of any global wellness company on earth. But as you can see here, you're about 5 minutes from talking to a doctor. You click this link, you'll be brought to an onboarding agent who will ask what it is you'd like, and they will send you to an appropriate GP. They've also got, as you see, the fitness app is right here, and inside of there, again, you can create custom workout plans, and so you can really set up a workout schedule and plan that suits where you're at, you know what I mean, and give you goals to move forward. There are a myriad of workshops, and I mean, there's articles from everything from supporting a spouse, to loss of a loved one, to raising children, to drug addiction, to smoking cessation. I mean, you name it, there's an article or a workshop or something in this system. They've also got assessment tools where you're able to take assessments. And what that means is that you answer a bunch of relatively personal questions, and then the algorithm in the system will point you at what service they feel most will help you the most given your circumstances. And then as you work through the assessment system, you start to move up in tiers. So you see you got bronze here, and I haven't actually completed it on this account because I went through it all with my trial account months and months ago. But as you move up through bronze, silver, and gold, you're able to get into purchase discounts from big name brands. So everybody you see on this page right here, these are all companies that have employed LifeWorks for either their EAP, their employee assistance packages, which is what is being offered through MiND Token. That's the telemed and all that, or LifeWorks is managing their pension plans. And so all of these companies in here offer discounts to people who are involved in the LifeWorks system, and that includes MiND Token holders. And so you can see there's some pretty serious names in here. This company is massive and completely legit. And so we're really, really excited. Not only that we're able to work with them, but that they took us seriously and that they're behind us. And so they've truly been a wonderful experience. But I've been told before that when I get into the LifeWorks app, I talk too much. So I'm going to end the screencast there, and we can move on to the next thing.
Yeah. You only talk too much sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that was really an awesome presentation, and I really love what you guys are doing here, and even with the project alone, it shows how real you people are, because I mean, I've seen a couple of projects where you see them out there, and just with the name itself, you can know that these people are here to maybe kind of work or get your money, I mean people's money and stuff like that. But with what you guys are building here itself, if we had to look it in our perspective, it shows that you people are legit, and you care so much about people, right? I mean, look at what MiND Token is all about: fitness, health, all of those things. I think that's something we humans, right? We go through every single day, right? I believe most of us here really want to be fit, and most of us want a good health. We want the financial freedom and stuff like that. So with what you guys are building here alone, it shows how legit you guys are. But I would like to ask a personal question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for example, right? I'm kind of like I'm kind of having this should I say a disease? Should I use a disease as an example? And I can see, I try to get to a nearest doctor, especially in my country, let's say in Africa. How can MiND Token at that point work for me to maybe to get the doctor real quick, or maybe to get the medication for the treatment and stuff like that?
So how this is going to work is that, as I mentioned, the gold package is offered in 60 countries. The mental health services are global. So if it's a mental health crisis that you're in, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. If you have a telephone or an internet connection, you're good to go. Now the gold package, that's the telemedicine and the legal added on to the mental and the fitness stuff. That's live right now, even though our systems aren't live yet. And that's in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. However, as I mentioned, there are 60 countries that LifeWorks services for the gold package, and we're able to add countries basically with an email or a phone call. It takes about 15 days to get them live, but to get the process going is really easy. And so how this is going to work is that once we get through launch, we're going to be paying really good attention to what countries large portions of our community are from, and we're going to be basing where we unlock the gold package on that. Obviously, we're really keen on countries with high crypto adoption, places like Turkey and India and South Africa, Nigeria, El Salvador, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, Commonwealth stuff. And so that's basically how it's going to roll out, and how quickly that rolls out is directly related to how quickly we're growing. And so yeah, that's basically the gist of it, is that it's live. We chose to go live in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom because, of course, that's a big demographic for us. And with English being our native language, it's much easier for us to market and promote to there, as well as I think telemedicine is going to be a huge asset to people in the United States, where you imagine they can stake in our 1 month pool $50 market value, and during that month they get 25% APYs, but they also have that LifeWorks subscription for a month, and they can call a doctor up to 5 times in 1 month with that subscription. Yeah. And at the end of it, they can unstake. And I mean, if the market value has gone up, they would actually get a gain out of it. And the only real hit they're taking along the way is a $5 per month staking fee. So, if you stake for 1 month, you're going to pay a $5 fee. If you stake for 12 months, you're going to pay a $60 fee. But the 12-month pool is 150% APYs, and that's a year of mental, physical, legal, fitness. I mean, just to compare, I can't remember the name of the company right now, Better something, but it's a UK company, and they do only mental health stuff. There's no telemedicine, there's no lawyers, there's nothing else, just mental health issues. And they are 280 British pounds for 4 sessions in 1 month. And that's just money that you've spent. Whereas through us, you can have that same service plus all of those other things that they provide for a $50 stake in a month. And so how our system works is a little bit like an insurance system where, everybody who stakes pays the $5 fee. But the truth is that a lot of people are going to get into our staking pools for the APYs, or they're going to get into the staking pools because, well, yeah, they get the APYs, but they like what we're doing, or they have a emotional connection to mental health because themselves have dealt with it in the past, or they have a family member who struggles, and so on. And so, we would expect that, maybe 20% of people who use our pools are actually going to be on the LifeWorks app. And that's fine because, we have other directions that the project is heading, and it provides a great utility to people who really need it. And I would also add to that it's not just the individual person staking who receives those services, it's also your immediate family. So your spouse and your kids can get the supports that they need as well. And so we're modeled much like LifeWorks themselves are modeled, where they collect fees on 26 million users through 15,000 corporations, and then they have 10 or so % of the people who consistently use these services, and so it offsets the cost, and that's why they're able to offer so much to broader communities. And so it's a really unique setup that we've got going on here, and I really believe that it provides huge value. So we're really excited to be moving forward.
That's great.
That's really good. But before we're gonna move on, I just want to say, my co-host is here. Nels, you want to say hi to Stefan and Sky Monkey?
You can call me Ed. I don't mind.
Ed?
Yeah, I call him Ed to everybody.
Okay. Next, you want to say hi to them before we continue?
Hi guys, good to have you guys here. Hi. Nice project. When I hear something about health and mind, physical strength, and everything that has to do with human and the body, it always gives me joy to want to listen. And something that we have to hop into it too. So good to have you guys here. So.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Great. So let's proceed. I have another question to ask in regards to the health path. So let's say I'm a doctor, right? How can I benefit from the MiND token? Can I work for the people behind the MiND token or something like that?
No. So I mean, we're not therapists, we are not doctors. We are able to facilitate. And so, what LifeWorks does is it makes it so that we have no liability because they are set up and legally set up in every country where they do business, and they follow the laws. They're a massive corporation. They have to. And so they provide the doctors and the therapists and everything else. Now, that said, one of our long-term goals, and this is way off in the distance, we'll get to other stuff first, but would be metaverse kind of clinic where we would offer things like anonymous Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, Narcotics Anonymous, group therapies for people suffering from spousal abuse. And, you could go into fitness, and there's a lot of different things that we could do in the metaverse. But again, we would be facilitators of that. And so we could bring an accredited therapist on to have a group meeting, and that would be legally okay for us to do. Do you know what I mean? But we can't, we just have to be careful how we approach these things, because one, if we bring in somebody who's not what they say they are, we're exposing ourselves in the project to potential litigations and so on, as well as the potential for somebody to be hurt by that. So that's one of the things with a project like this. This isn't a meme project where if it makes it, it makes it. This is people's lives can hang in the balance on this, and so it's pretty serious.
It's also one of the reasons why we structured the staking pools the way we did, because we do want to bring on partners and different communities to allow access to their members, but we didn't want to be in a situation like Ed said where we're one rugged out and then all those community members are left hanging. The way we've structured it though, now we'll have 5 different pools, so that person, maybe they are in a rugged community and they've bought access. When their access runs out, they have the ability now to pick from any other staking pool to continue their access in a project that has been that is showing longer term stability.
Yeah. And that's a big deal for us when we get to the partnership stuff, because we've already got 2 partners confirmed. We have Izanagi and we have Snafu. They're both amazing projects. And they're actually going to be, our staking is going to go live in the coming days. Not for MiND token though. We're not going to launch until around the middle of the month, but our staking systems are ready. And so what's going to happen is that Snafu and Izanagi and other future partners, they're going to be able to go into our staking systems and set their own pools with their own APYs, with their own token supply. And they're able to attach the LifeWorks utility to it. And this is one of the ways that we're so scalable, is that we can add many, many, many projects. We'd like to see something like this be the norm in crypto, because anybody who's ever worked on a project or been in part of a moderator community knows that things can get really stressful in crypto. And I've seen projects just disappear because the teams couldn't handle the stress anymore. Mods would drop off right and left and so on. And so part of the deal is that any project who onboards with us and sets up their staking portal, their team are automatically added to LifeWorks. That's their moderators, admin, developer, and all that good stuff. But what it also does is it provides a little bit of income into our systems, and it creates the potential for massive networkings. This is why I say we're so scalable, because we've already got 2 partners and we have not launched yet. And so I really think that shows the potential of this project. We've also got 4 or 5 in the wings who are just waiting to see things progress a little bit more. And so we're really, really excited about all of that, because that is probably the strongest way that we can really get our name out there. So very soon we're going to have bounties as well, where community members who connect us with potential partners, if the partnership goes live and they join our staking systems, then we'll give them a bounty. We'll pay them for their effort. And so once we get that staking live, we're going to be reaching out in as many directions as we possibly can. I think it's a really big deal. So.
Yeah, why I was really concerned about it, and I mean, if you guys think about it, it can help the project in the long run. Let's think about something realistic here. We all know that we are in a world where we have people aiming to become a professional doctor. We are in a world where people wish to become the best therapists and stuff like that, the best lawyers. So imagine MiND token, right, has the opportunity of letting these people have a part in what you guys are building. I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it might take it to a pretty long way, right? Having you to be able to work with I mean, look at hospitals out there. They are looking for people, right, who gonna become the best lawyers, and the court we want the best the best doctors, the court will want the best lawyers. So if MiND could provide this opportunity for people who wish to advertise themselves as one of the best lawyers, and I mean it might go a pretty long way. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I would definitely need a meeting with a lawyer before I started facilitating anything like that. I think we'd be more. Go ahead, Stefan. Sorry.
Yeah. The legalities behind it essentially are there. Every country has its own different laws, and mental health and lawyers and everything is all bound by country. So that's the biggest part of us partnering with LifeWorks, is that they because they're publicly trading, they've gone through all their homework, and they've got all their T's crossed and I's dotted through every country that they're providing these services. So for anybody to come and just go, hey, we're going to do this and better than MiND token kind of thing, they can't forerun us for it'd be really hard to get in front of us on this without spending millions.
Yeah, because these companies won't deal with you if you're not a corporation. You have to be a doxed corporation owning person to access to partner with a company like LifeWorks. But to further your question, we can absolutely facilitate therapists. There's nothing illegal about that. And so we're not exposing ourselves to risk, other than if you get a crappy therapist and they're giving terrible advice to your community, that's probably not healthy. But we could create a vetting process. But what we can definitely do, LifeWorks is not the only global wellness company. Being that we are a corporation, we can start to look at. So you were asking earlier if I'm in Africa and I need these services. Well, if the demand is there and LifeWorks doesn't service that area, we can't add that country through LifeWorks. There's nothing to stop us from looking at another provider. And so again, we're scalable, right? We can continue to grow even beyond that 60 countries, if we're making the right connections and we're in financial good shape. So there's a lot of stuff we can do, but facilitating doctors, that would be a country by country. You'd need all sorts of legal technicalities, and you'd be heavily exposed to potential litigations. And so for that reason, I don't think that we go down that road too heavily. Perhaps down the line, somebody presents that to us in a way that, keeps us safe. And we would absolutely consider it. But again, we're here to facilitate these services. We can't directly offer them, because not only could there be serious ethics issues, but that exposure to liability is not something we want to take on.
I mean, that's definitely understandable. I mean, it's not something that I feel might work out right now, because you guys already have a different goal being set up in place. But I was thinking of something actually. I mean, looking at all these people in this community right now. Yeah, it's true. We are all here to make money, to get involved in projects. But I believe most of them here are looking for an opportunity, right, to get themselves involved with. We might have lawyers here, we might have doctors here. I mean, if they could find opportunities like this, I mean, not just about the fact that they want to get involved in project, but they also want to look for something that they can showcase talent and stuff like that. So I was just thinking about something randomly, and I feel like it can be something helpful.
With enough money, anything is possible, but that's just not it's not where we're at right now.
Right now we're not launched, and actually I'll take this opportunity here to say what we are doing is in this market. The way things are, there's a lot of people that are in the downs, and if you or anybody in this group here or chat that know anybody or are somebody that feels they need to reach out, because we're not launched, we can't give you access to the services through our staking. But what I'm doing is just reach out to me with your email address. I'll onboard you for free. And that's where we're sitting, because in this market, nobody needs to feel like they're going through anything alone. And if you need anybody to talk to, just get me an email and I will onboard you to our app for free.
Yeah, and just so people know, you don't have to tell us anything about your situation. You know, you can give an email for a friend that you think needs some help as well, and we'll put you onto LifeWorks for a month. You know, I just think it's just a positive way that we can show people out there that what we're doing is legitimate and real. You know, and so yeah, we're more than happy to help people out if they need it.
Yeah, I think that's what we all need, right? We all need someone we feel like we can lean on, we can put in our hands on their shoulder, you know, and stuff like that. So I believe, because the truth is, a lot of us here. I was talking to a friend today, and he told me that I got involved in a project, and I really didn't know the day we're gonna work the project, and he lost his money, and you know, and stuff like that. I mean, different kind of situation happen in the space right now. But anyway, before I'm gonna keep on with my question, next, so you had something to say, please. You're free to speak, brother.
Hey, Stefan.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to have you guys. Like I said, when it comes to human and well-being, it's one thing I'm a big advocate for. And the fact that you guys are offering the essentials, because for every human, these are basically the essentials for every human. These are the necessities that every human need. You need a good health care. You need your mind to be in one place, so that means you need a therapist. You need fitness, and also you need a lawyer in case of crime or you're being cheated on or something else. So these are good things that you guys are offering. But when it comes to these things, to well-being and these services, I know you throw a little light on them. I know you've touched point on all these things. I know it's very difficult for a common man that is not rich to get these services. You know, when you don't have the necessary funds in your pocket, you can't get them. I'm going to speak from an African's perspective now. If you don't have enough fund with you, you can't get a good healthcare service. And you're offering this healthcare service. Looking at your website, you said acute medical care connect to a general practitioner in less than 5 minutes. So in less than 5 minutes, 24 hours a day, I can get a good services from a doctor. I can get a good service from my therapist. So I'm just trying to say, how is that possible? How is LifeWorks is going to make that possible?
LifeWorks is partnered with other telemedicine companies, as well as it's the direction that they've chosen to go. So right now, like in the UK, Canada, and the United States, where we're launching to start, anybody that has access to LifeWorks can have access to telemedicine. In Africa, currently today, I cannot offer any telemedicine services to the African population. I can offer them everything else that goes with our app: the well-being, health support, the counseling services.
Yeah.
And as we grow after launch, right, which we again we've put off for a couple more weeks because of the market. But as we grow, we will be onboarding country by country, based on, like Ed said, where our demographics of our investment is.
Yeah, where the demographic of our investors are, and where LifeWorks offers their utilities with the gold package, which is, like I say, 60 countries. And so, you know, it'll take a bit to roll those out, but we'll do it in a way that, you know, we're basically going to be paying attention to where the largest populations in our community are from. And you know, we're doing it that way for a reason, because, you know, if we see, okay, there's a bunch of people from Turkey or Nigeria or what have you, who are asking about the, you know, the gold package services there, then obviously, you know, that's a target demographic that we're going to not only want to add the services to, but we're going to want to open a group and start targeting, like, you know, this is the Nigeria group, or this is, you know, maybe not group, but just target those markets specifically, right? Like we've got one AMA group who really wants to have us, but they're primarily Turkish, and that's great when we bring those services to Turkey, right? Because you know, because that's where how we're going to want to target that a little bit. So
Yeah, it's a good one since we get that sorted out, because if in Africa, from my own West African standpoint, there's not like telemedicine for now. They can get you have to be a physically present to get any medical attention or whatever thing that you want to do. I know over there in the
Yeah,
States and in Europe, you can talk to a doctor online. You can do all those things online, and
yeah.
you get good services from a therapist, and you get your
Yeah,
mind straight.
but again, the therapy is global. So in West Africa, you can talk to a counselor, you can talk to a master's accredited psychologist, and if they have people in their network in your area, you can also get a referral discount for a therapist that's local to you if they feel that you, or if you feel that you would prefer to be doing in-person therapies rather than on a Microsoft Teams kind of Zoom style conference. The other thing as well is that, our reach doesn't end with those 60 countries. Because we're a corporation, we are fully capable of making agreements with other providers. And so if we find we have a large demographic in an area where LifeWorks isn't servicing, we can start to reach out to their local providers, assuming they have one, and we can make arrangements with them as well. And so, like I say, the reach doesn't end with 60 countries. I mean, if we're growing, we'll want to keep growing,
Cool. So, okay, I heard Stefan mentioned something earlier in regards to registration, because Caleb was asking that if there's a doctor in our community or maybe a lawyer in the community and the person wants to get involved in this the future, what you have in place in your idea, which is a very good one, and there's a therapist here or a psychologist that wants to get involved. Stefan said that you could register the person for free, just send an email on those things. So now, in terms of verification process, how do you verify that these persons are real doctors or real therapists or real lawyer? Is there a plan, a section
That's
of
not
your
that's not
something
us
like
that takes care of that. That's essentially that's LifeWorks. So all the therapists and the doctors that are used are all hired. The therapists are all internally hired by LifeWorks, and they're the company that we're providing you access. We are giving you LifeWorks access and these services as a benefit for free, for onboarding onto our NFT system normally, or onboarding onto our staking system. It's not a
Yeah.
replacement for any type of healthcare. It's not a healthcare package, right? What it is support to mental health and wellness, as well as counseling and telemedicine services, which would include, in only the 3 countries that we're in, Canada, the UK, and the United States, it would include, like, you would call you would get on with a doctor about getting a prescription or a referral to a specialist if you have a longer term disability or injury. Again, it's not, we are in no way saying that we are replacing a healthcare system.
Yeah, and so just so we can, like, I'm just looking right now at LifeWorks Wikipedia page because I mean, I already know this stuff, but I like to see it in front of me. This company has been around for 56 years. Last year's revenue was 722.3 million. They're in the process of being bought by TELUS for 2.3 billion dollars. This is not a tiny company. These guys facilitate the lawyers and the doctors. These guys are the ones who make sure that they have an entire legal team who makes sure that, they're free from, the threat of being sued and so on. And so they're fully legitimate in every country they work in. There's no need for us to be vetting doctors or lawyers that are legitimate because they're going through the world's largest global wellness company. Where we could run into issue is if we were to say, okay, well, my buddy Joe here is a doctor and, he's going to do a bandage for you or whatever the case may be. That would put us in a really dangerous position, not only ethically, but legally. So that's the basic gist of it. And that's why if we did start moving into countries that LifeWorks doesn't offer the gold package for, we would be doing it through properly registered corporations in that country so that we're free from liability, and also our user base is being taken care of by actual professionals and not somebody who's going to do something damaging to them.
With all sincerity, this is the 4th project. they have on the space, crypto-wise and NFT-wise. This is the fourth project I've seen that talks about healthcare. And this is by far the first one that I've seen that is literally sincere, 100% sincere when it comes to what they can offer and what they cannot. So because from your answers, you'll be able to atomize and also align the fact that this is what you're offering, but this is what you're not offering. So the main thing goes with LiveWorks, but you are offering a support system that will help us to benefit with your token, or staking your token can help us to benefit from what LiveWorks is giving to the to the community, to the human nature, which is 100% good. I just love the sincerity in that aspect, because the other project they say they are doing all, and for the past 3 months I've not seen anything like that, because I was asking one time, when it comes to data, how do you get the data of these people that you want to give out this healthcare to? You know, when it comes to that, it's very difficult to get, because it might be in the US, it might be in the UK, where things are very easy for you to get. But in other countries, the Asian part of the country, the Antarctica, the Africans, they are very, very thin. Their things are very difficult for them to get when it comes to health-wise.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you guys are very, very sincere in your answer and the way you're directing it. So I'll allow Caleb to talk. Then in regards to your staking and token, I have some other questions, but let me give the floor to Caleb for now. Then maybe later we'll discuss more. Thanks, Stefan. And sorry, Stefan, are you in the military?
No, I'm not. No. I gotta go change my hat now.
I'll be wanting to ask you that, please, because you look like a lieutenant. You look like a lieutenant.
And you know the funniest thing else, I asked him the same question as well.
No, I just threw on my camo hat today.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Next. Thanks for the question. That was really a nice one.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So let's. I just want to know more about the NFT. Are you guys going to be implementing NFTs on my token?
Yeah. Okay.
So
we go a couple different directions here with the NFTs. Okay. Our first run of NFTs is kind of a thank you of one-off rare NFTs for our early sailors, because they got behind us almost 2 months ago, and they've been just patient and honest and promoting us and everything else. And so we want to reward them with something that's, the first in the system, as well as, rare and never to be recreated. They'll also come with some hints, little eggs, if you want, that will kind of let people conjecture about where our NFT system is heading, because we've conceptualized, and it's not a difficult build, but it's quite original, an NFT wellness game. We don't share too much about that because, as I say, the system wouldn't be too hard to create, but it's really unique. And so we don't want anybody front running us on it. But essentially what it works out to is that we're working towards an NFT wellness game where the end result of playing the game is that you're minting MiND token NFTs that are one-offs, completely yours. So that's that's two directions we're heading. We've got the Sea Sailor NFTs as a thank you. We love you guys. And we've got we're also heading into NFTs for projects that don't have a token. God, that's hard to roll off the tongue. And so basically what happens is that we're tying the LifeWorks utility into NFTs so that groups like yours can participate in it. And so, if you're an AMA group and you've got a moderator team, and you want to provide those accesses, then we can work out a situation where you're able to purchase NFTs from us, and you're able to give those NFTs to your staff members who may need those services, as well as within your community. And we can also set it up as a public mint, and so your community members can buy those NFTs. There'll be some royalties going back to both groups, and it's just a really positive way that we can start to bring in people in crypto who don't actually own a project but run large groups. So we think that's really unique and special. And then, down the line, we talked a little bit about metaverse and wellness clinics and things like that. And, this is still in the conceptualization stage, but we'd obviously want to add an NFT gallery to that equation as well. Am I missing something? I feel like I skipped one, Stefan.
No, I think you hit it. The main thing is the way to bring on is our way. Essentially, our biggest one that we're bringing forward is our one that mocks our state.
Oh, charity. And the charity one. So what we've got is we know a lot of local artists. For people who don't know anything about Vancouver Island traditionally was an industry island. It was a resource extraction farm essentially. So we had the coal mining days, the logging days, the fishing days, and all of that stuff is kind of petered out. And so now, a lot of the communities here rely on tourism and artistry and so on for their living, for their income, to support their families. And that includes the First Nations in our area. And if you're familiar with First Nations art in, Vancouver Island, Haida Gwaii kind of area, it's visually stunning. It's got beautiful representations. A lot of the more modern First Nations art coming out is stunning stuff. And not only is it, a really cool thing, but it's also a main source of income for some of these bands and for their families as well. And so what we want to do is we want to help facilitate to bring those NFTs, or to bring that style of artisan art to NFTs. So we want to help these people who've never dealt with this stuff before learn how to mint an NFT, learn how to promote an NFT. We want to tie royalties to the NFTs so that the content creators are receiving a good paycheck from it, and we also want to tie charities to that. MiND Token has always wanted to have a charity aspect, but the thing that was scaring us is that there's been a lot of great projects with charity taxes and charity donations, and they've gone by the wayside because of the downward pressure on their system, partially. And so we really wanted that charity aspect, and we just needed to find a way to do it without that downward pressure on the chart. And so that's the solution we came up with, is that we're going to have runs of NFTs that are not only local to us artists to start. We'll go big, farther and farther away from home as time goes on, but that they're able to contribute to a charity that the artist who creates the artwork for the NFT feels a kind of kinship to. And so because we're a corporation, we can make proper charities in the fiat world, which is where also a lot of these charity projects have struggled, is that, I was a moderator in a project once called Rescue Token, and it was a really cool concept. We had 4 animal sanctuaries partnered up, and we had Bubbles, Michael Jackson's monkey or chimpanzee, and we were able to NFT this guy. But unfortunately, a board member saw that we had helped an animal sanctuary create a crypto wallet, and the shareholders said, "No freaking way is that happening." And so that was another real reason that we wanted this corporation in place, is that that's eliminated. If we make a charity donation to any sort of charity, they'll receive it with no problem because it comes from a corporation with a receipt through the proper channels. And so, yeah, we're super excited to get moving on that aspect of things as well. As I say, both of these communities that Stefan and I are from have heavy tourism. And as a result, there's a lot of good art.
And we've already been able to make a couple donations in our pre-launch. We did have, there is a gentleman riding his bicycle across most of Canada from Vancouver to Toronto for mental health awareness, and we sponsored him $400 and deckled up his chase car with our MiND Token logos and some QR codes and some information. And we've also
and he's raised over $10,000 so far for the Canadian Mental Health Association. Mitch Buxton is a registered nurse. He teaches nursing at Malaspina University in Nanaimo, BC, which is one town over from me here. He's also a mental health nurse at Cowichan Lodge, this is how we measure everything on the island. It's 2 towns over. And so he's been fully sanctioned by the Canadian Mental Health Association for this drive. And it's just a really amazing and cool thing that he's doing. And so, I think it's pretty interesting that, we're still a few weeks from launch. We've got 2 full partnerships already confirmed. We've already done a sponsorship ride halfway across Canada and getting our branding and decals out there and everything else. And so, we're definitely making an impact on the space. There's no question about that. And so we're just going to keep plugging away and get this thing live. Like I say, our staking is going to go live for our partner projects. And one of the reasons for that is that we did delay our launch a little bit so that the market could chill the hell out. And we wanted our partners to get live and to get that utility out to people. And also we've got a few potential partners in the wings who want to see things up and functioning before they really commit. And so we said, you know what, let's put it out there and let them see that this is all legit and that it's all going to work. So, our contracts are complete. We're just waiting now. We're having our contract audited by Safeton. And so they'll get that going soon. We're also in the process of KYC with Anondocs for Stefan and myself, which, is, we own a corporation. You can't really get more docs than that. But crypto likes to see a crypto community, KYC. So we're going through with that.
Right. And Anondocs is doing some really good stuff with their KYC process, which actually will protect a lot of the investors that are partnered with both of us. And honest to God, I feel in my heart of hearts, Anondocs will become the way to go with KYCs in the future. But we'll see how. I'm really for them.
I absolutely believe that as well.
That's really amazing. So that means I'm gonna be expecting an NFT since I got involved into the seed sale as well, right?
That's right. But were you in the first 25 people? I don't know if you.
No. Don't do that.
You won't figure out. We've actually got something for all of our sale people. Yeah. It was an early thing. We did do a cutoff, but then Ed and I did discuss it internally, and we're actually going to create something for all the seed sailors.
Yeah.
So
that would be nice. Yeah. I can't wait to have mine. No.
The first 25, they took the leap of faith when we were really, really, young looking in the space. We had, 100 members at most in our Telegram, and we were, just starting out, and we're working on our website. I mean, we had a template website just to get the concept out there, and we didn't want to do any promoting until our branding was cleaned up and things looked proper. And so, they got really in on the ground floor, and they were just patient and kind and promoting us behind the scenes. And so we, those first 25, we really wanted to give them something that, years down the line will be something that nobody else in the system owns, and hopefully give them good value for that as well. So, the second 25, we love you guys too. Don't take me wrong. So you guys are going to get a little bit of art as well. So yeah, everybody in the seed sale will get their share of that. I would add too that people in the staking system, anybody who stakes will have discounts and early access when we start getting into the public minting stuff for charity and art.
Yeah.
Great. That's really amazing. I mean, this shows that you guys care more about the people getting involved in the project as well. It's actually a great boost for them to even want to trust and believe on what you guys are building here, and you should give them the guarantee to hold on the project. But I'm just curious about something. What reward will I have? Let's say for example, I'm holding on to the token for a long period of time. Would there be a reward for holders as well?
Well, I mean, you get the APYs if you stake the token. If you're planning to hold for a long time, I would definitely want to stake it and get those APYs, get into the 12-month pool. And again, if you're in the staking pools, wallets that are staked with us will have first crack at some things, not everything, but some things. And so, we're definitely looking for ways that, people who are in our pools in the long term are looking forward to getting an added benefit for being there. right? We didn't go with insane APYs. We really wanted it to be, so you're 150% over a 12-month period. And we did that purely for sustainability reasons, because one, in a year's time, with our starting market cap, they should be in some good gains already before those APYs, in my opinion. And so, but we just wanted to, because again, not everybody is going to say, hey, I need a doctor. They're going to say, I'm a 25-year-old Chad and I'm 6 feet tall and I'm bulletproof and I don't need none of this. But how are the APYs? Can I get some NFT discounts on this and so on? And so we're also looking for other ways to incentivize people to be in our pools in the long term.
Great. I mean, so let's say, what if I don't want to stake? I'm not gonna get a reward, because I believe the truth is, there are people who stake and there are people who doesn't stake, right? Who just maybe just love holding the token, and feel like they can sell whenever they want and stuff like that. These people like this, are they not gonna be having maybe a reward for holding, even if they're not staking?
I mean, if we see it as being something that needs to be done, we might do that. But we've tried to put our incentivizations into the staking system because that's really where we want people in the project. That's where the utility happens. That's where the APY happens. We're a non-reflection token, which is a little bit different in the space right now. There's no BUSD reflections or anything like that. And again, we did that for the same reason that we tied charity to our NFTs, is we wanted as little downward pressure on the chart as possible in the long term. I've seen some projects that were doing just awesome, but they can't survive that contract sell. The volume goes down and they just get hammered on. And so the short answer to your question would be, right now, not really. I mean, if we really encourage people to get into the staking system and to collect those APYs that way and to utilize the utility. So yeah, that's where that sits right now.
Okay. So my last question to you will be, what are the plans you guys have been having for marketing? I mean, before, maybe if Nurse has any other thing to say before we can move to the community as well. But what are the plans for marketing on the project? Because I mean, an idea as well comes a lot with marketing. You want it to get to a lot of people out there, right? You want a lot of people to know about what you're building. So what are the plans for marketing on the project?
So I think Decon is in here right now asking to speak. If you could let him speak, there our marketing partner let him go. Right there.
Let him rip.
Decon, he's got some big plans for us.
Who exactly is that?
Conda, he's right at the top there, waiting to speak.
It's different for everybody.
Conda Lab.
Yeah, I think I know him as well. I've spoken to him.
Let's throw him into the frying pan. What the hell?
Hey, yeah, we know each other very well, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Hey, I told you I'd bring a project on your AMA.
Oh my God, you're so funny. I actually know Stefan as well.
Yeah. We've been chatting for a few months. He's been trying to get us on here, but I didn't think we were ready, and I finally.
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing, I mean, as you can see, this project is just begging for partnerships, right? This project is all about partnerships. And that's how not only will we spread the word, but how we will sustain sustain the business and make revenue, right? So the plans for us is to really just partner up with as many projects as we can. The LifeWorks platform is a tool that anybody could use at any time, and we're really going to look to partner up with some real big projects out there and offer them our services, whether it be just paying for the services for their teams but also I think the bigger goal would be to have them set up staking through us, so that they can stake their tokens in exchange for our services, and also all of their members can stake their tokens, like that project's tokens, for our services. Not only are we providing an extra utility to those projects, because we're going to really target projects that don't have staking currently, So we'll not only provide an extra utility for their token, but also provide another utility when it comes to the services that we provide. And as you can imagine, like partnerships with every one of these projects is going to bring extra members and extra eyes on our project. So the more partnerships we build, the more members we'll get into RTG, the more investors we'll get looking at our project. And also we'll be able to push our NFTs out there as well. So it's just the marketing for this is just going to be going out there and just reaching out to as many people as we can, reaching out to as many projects as we can, not only in the crypto space, but I mean, we can really start to try to onboard some non-crypto users into our economy, you know, that maybe like they can't afford health insurance or it's too much where they live. For $50 a month, you can't beat all these services that you can get, and it's not just healthcare, teletherapy, it's financial services, legal services. So it's just limitless. The partnerships are limitless with this project.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, but
go ahead.
I'm also working on a partnership within Conda Labs and other call channels, and I can't really talk too much about this right now, but it's going to really change the way that promos are done and AMAs are done and partnerships between marketers and call channels. So that's another way that I'm going to really bring some real organic volume to the Telegram and to the just eyes on the project in general. But that will be announced later and very, very soon. And actually, Gold Diggers, I will invite you in on this as a secondary partner at some point. So yeah, just be excited for that.
Yeah, it sounds like
yeah, I'm dancing right now.
I just want to add one thing to what Z was saying there, is that, you know, with the partnerships, what it costs a project to partner with us is fractional compared to what it would cost for them to develop their own staking contract, their own front end. And so, you know, not only do they get the two utilities, but they get it at a fraction of what it would cost them to create it themselves, plus the eyes of all of our partners on them as well. So every time a project is onboarded onto our system, their members are exposed to all the other projects on our system. And so, you know, we're creating kind of a network where every time someone comes on, you've got this many more eyes on all of these projects. And so, you know, the more awesome, legit projects that we can bring on, the bigger our reach is going to be.
Hey guys, I'm just going to go off camera. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to go off camera. I got to get in my truck and start making the drive to go pick up my kids for school.
I think you better do because you're scaring away people. A lot of people are thinking you're an army or something.
That's right. He's sniping. No, he's got to pick up his kids from school, and they'll make his life miserable if they have to wait there for half an hour.
But anyways, with what Zikon said earlier, I mean that's really amazing because that's one of the way you can grow, because partnership really plays a long way, and most people really don't know about it out there, right? Because imagine you having 5 to 6, 7, 8, 10 partnership with people, right? These people are gonna be promoting your project to an extent. They're gonna be supporting you as well in an extent, right? And these are real people. You don't want to waste your fund maybe giving it to some kind of influencers, and at the end of the day, you don't see result. But when you work with partnership, when you work with real legit people, it's really gonna go a long way, right? Let's say, for example, you had a partnership with Gold Digger, you had a partnership with I think you had an AMA with JB yesterday, if I could recall. You know, yeah, the day launch, and you know you have partnership with all these other launches, and maybe for example, a couple of influencers, project owners says the partnership they've had with you, and they'll be like, well, what's MiND talking all about? And can you give us a little bit of details? And they may want to get to know about it. These are legit people who really want to get involved on the project. So I think partnership as well to go a long way to an extent.
And that leads back to just how scalable we are. I mean, if we're bringing on a project that has 2,000 Telegram members, that's great and awesome. But what happens to our market cap when we bring on a 30,000 holder project? You know, I mean, the potentials are absolutely insane as far as I'm concerned.
I also I just came up with an idea to actually onboard. Yeah, I haven't even talked to anybody about this yet. I literally came up with it like a minute ago. So
on the fly.
I'll come back for an update if it works out, but it's kind of an idea to potentially pull in call channels and offer call channels the services and also make it profitable for call channels. So they will push this out to all of their members. So not only could we potentially have partnerships with every project out there, but also every call channel out there. But yeah, Gold Diggers, I'll come back for an update on that after I talk to the team here.
I think it's something we're all working on.
Z moves so fast, I just start writing things down when he gets going. So
So yeah, I think that's all of my question for you guys. Nux, do you have any other thing you may want to add before we move down to the community?
Yes. I don't know if you talk about the tokenomics yet, but
no,
Yeah,
we've been having such a great chat so far. Sure, I can do that.
yeah,
So
you can talk about it a little bit. Yeah.
Sure. So our basic buy and sell tax, we've got a 6% buy and a 12% sell. We're putting 1% to liquidity, 2% to operations, 1% to staking, and 2% to marketing on the buy tax. And then on the sell tax, we're 2% to operations, 3% to marketing, 4% to staking, and 3% to liquidity. We did originally have this set up at 4 and 4, but after talking with DGEM and Conda and having our pre-sale maths essentially audited, we decided to raise the tax a little bit. And so the only thing that hasn't changed from that is the operations tax, and that essentially that's Stefan and I's pay in the system. And so we're taking 1% of volume as our pay, and so we're not going to make a $1 billion on launch and then take off down the road. We've got this built so that we can be here working and scale. And it just shows people that we're incentivized to be here and that, we get paid if we work and if we're successful. And so I think that's pretty important stuff. We've done a 50 BNB seed sale. Admittedly, it went over a little bit. It was like 52 or something like that, but we'll have that sorted. It's no big deal. But it's closed now. Don't send any more. I'll send it back. And then, so we're looking at a total of a 250 BNB raise, including our seed sale, which is already complete. So we're going to be doing a 200 BNB raise through DGEM. And yeah, we should end up with, the last time we did the math, BNB was a little bit higher, but we should be starting around a diluted market cap, a fully diluted market cap around 195K. I'd imagine that's dipped down to 180 or something like that by now. I'm not going to do the math every time BNB decides to go up or down, but essentially, yeah.
So is that going to be?
Go ahead.
Okay, that's a good one. 4% for liquidity, both buying and selling. So that's a total of 4%. So if I'm getting if you're making $1 billion, you go 4% to the liquidity. Would that be enough to sustain what your project have in regards to the liquidity? Because you're offering staking, and staking, when it comes to staking, you need a treasury to be able to hold your staking platform. And when it comes to token, so it goes for your holders and all those things. If you have a lot of person that have to hold your coin, it means that more liquidity need to be put in place. But you're offering staking and also hold it. So it's 4% enough to handle.
I believe so, and the reason that I believe so is that DGEM's whole purpose in life is bringing projects to market, and one of the first things they wanted to do when they came across us was to adjust all of our maths so that the liquidity would grow properly and so that the system was sustainable. And so there's also there's an early withdrawal fee from the staking system as well that goes back to feed into the staking system. And so, as I say, we went through great lengths to make sure that this system was going to last because, like I mentioned early in the AMA, people's well-being lies in the balance here, and the last thing we want to be responsible for is somebody not doing well physically or mentally as a result of our work. So, these guys spent a good amount of time going over and making sure that our systems would be stable and supported. So I'm honestly not too worried about that. Also, if we did have to, I mean, ideally we wouldn't, but we can adjust those taxes if we need to. I don't see us needing to, though. I think we're in really good shape personally.
I sincerely like your honesty when it comes to you answering questions. It blows my mind. Okay, you mentioned about charity earlier. You mentioned about charity. You talked about
Yes.
it. So, is there a percentage? How are you going to fund the charity that you're going to be doing? If all your tokenomics is already fixed, staking is fixed, marketing is fixed, operation and liquidity is fixed. Now you're introducing charity to the system. So, where would the fund for the charity come from?
Charity is coming through NFTs. And the reason we did that is so that we didn't have that added downward pressure on the system. So there is no charity tax in our system. What we intend to do is to work with artists who have never broached the NFT world. And, I mentioned quite a bit about local First Nations art because it's just so stunning and it's culturally relevant to us here. And so we want to tie charities to NFT mints and NFT royalties so that as a community, we're able to make those awesome charitable donations, but without damaging the holders in the process. And so that's the direction we took on the charity stuff. I mean, I imagine early on it won't be huge, massive donations, but in time, that's something we can absolutely build up to, especially since once it's into a royalty setting, if those NFTs start changing hands a lot and it becomes really highly speculative and they, start getting excitable, then that wallet's going to continue to grow for that charity. So yeah, we're going to be able to do, this run of NFTs from this artist has, X percent of the royalty heading to X charity. And again, the nice thing with the way we're set up is that, not only do we, we've got a corporate bank account, we've got a corporate Coinbase account, we have a fully registered corporation, we're able to make these donations to charity properly. And so we're not going to run into that wall where, as long as the charity that the community or the artist is chosen as a registered charity, then they're going to have a proper bank account that we can send money to, including receipts. And so that's why we set things up like that.
Thanks, man. So, okay, last question from me before we'll go over to the community or if you can about any additional question. Now, when it comes to staking, some projects always add these features to them, ROI, return of investment. There's always a percentage just in case it did go as planned. So there's a percentage that whoever invests in the staking system, there's a percentage that goes back to them. If whatever they're staking, the market didn't bring enough yield into their pocket or they didn't make enough gain from it, they always incorporate return of investment to every investor. There's a percentage they return to them if the market is not favorable for a project. Are you going to be incorporating that too to the system, or is something that you guys will not even think about?
I mean, we're going to have a good percentage of the supply set aside and vested. We'll be using Gnosis multisig for anything that we vest up between me and Stefan to keep things safe. We've got APYs on each of the pools. I'm not 100% that I'm understanding your question. We do have an early withdrawal penalty. So if people start getting uppity and want to get out, they can, but it'll come with a fairly heavy tax if they do it too early in their stake. And so basically, if you stake for 30 days and you unstake the same day, you're taking a massive hit. But if the closer you get to the end of that 30 days, the less of a hit that you're going to take. And we did that for mainly so that people couldn't game the system. What we didn't want was people scalping LifeWorks subscriptions and just hitting with an email and then unstaking, hitting with an email and then unstaking. I mean, a $50 stake over a 1 month period, you should survive a month. But maybe I'm not grasping your question. Maybe you need to reiterate.
Okay, let me break it down. Let me break it down a little for you. Okay, so let's take it step by step so you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. Now, when it comes to staking, it means the project wants you to benefit from whatever they have in stock or plan. So if I'm staking a $50, for instance, I know, okay, there's an APY. No, yours is not fixed, though. There's an APY that is expected by my calculation that I'm supposed to gain after 30 days period or after a year, or DPY for a daily period that I'm supposed to gain. Okay, if I stake $50, I'm having a 2% of DPY daily percentage yield. I know, okay, out of my $50, I'm having 2% coming back to me. That's if the market is favorable. But let's say the project kicks off and the market is not favorable enough for the project to boost to the esteem that the project owner and the investors are looking at. Some projects incorporate what we call return of investment into it. So that means from my $50, there's a percentage that comes back to me immediately as an ROI, return of investment, that comes to me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what
So
I'm asking. Are you going to be incorporating that in the project?
You can claim rewards at any time, and you can choose to compound them again if that's what you're driving at. So you've got, if you get halfway through your, your 1 month stake with 25% APY, you can claim those rewards at any time and sell them when the market's high if that's what you want to do. And we've also got in our, pardon me, we've also got taxes to support the staking system in the contract as well. And again, if we had to raise those a little bit, we could. We just, we chose this ratio of buy and sell with the idea that hopefully we would be able to lower those in time rather than raise them. I mean, raising taxes is never a popular thing. Yeah. So, right. But it's all manual claim. There's no auto compounding feature in our system. Right
Okay. That's a question I just wanted to ask you, that if it's going to be, but the fact that it's not, it's cool. It's good. No auto compound. No, it's cool. All right. Thanks so much for the sincere answer. 100%. I really appreciate the way you and Stefan are answering the question being asked today. So over to you, Caleb.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for that, Nelk. So I think that's all of the questions. Is there any other things you guys may want to add, maybe in case we haven't touched on before we move down to the community?
I think we've covered everything. We're going to be launching with 3 pools, though we can always add more. Potential projects that partner up with this are able to choose their own 1, 3, 6, 9, or 12-month pools. They can do all of them or one of them. They've set their own APYs in the system, and they receive that LifeWorks utility as a benefit. As far as the rest of it goes, I mean, we've touched base on pretty well everything. One thing that came up a few times was the location of services. So I just want to reiterate that we're in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom for the full gold package on launch. There are 60 countries that we can upgrade to the gold package over time, but mental health services are on a global level. It doesn't matter where in the world you are, as long as you have an internet connection, you're able to access these services. The one final thing that I want to reiterate as well is that, right now, given the market, I mean, a lot of people are suffering from Luna and Celsius and so on. If there's anybody out there who's in crisis, and even not crypto related crisis, reach out to us, send us a DM. All we need is an email. And this is something I wanted to touch on earlier as well. Crypto is really concerned about anonymity. And so as long as your email doesn't have your name in it, MiND token doesn't know who you are. And so when you onboard onto LifeWorks, these are legitimate services. And so you are doxing to them, but no different than when you dox to your in-person therapist or to a doctor in a clinic, right? But MiND token does not know who you are in that sense. In fact, we actually had the members directory. LifeWorks was kind enough to remove it from our feed, so that, because when we first started, the first few people that we brought on there, you could look through a directory and say, oh, there's so-and-so, and oh, there's so-and-so. So we removed that. So inside of MiND token, your anonymity remains. When you move into the LifeWorks system, it still remains, but not with the practitioners, right? And so, but that's, you know, like I say, nobody's going to the doctor clinic, you know, unless they're just finishing an armed robbery or something and not wanting to give up their name. But the general idea is that you are not doxed to MiND Token when you use these services. You are doxed to LifeWorks, and we don't have access to that information, nor would we want it.
I was thinking of something funny. What I was thinking about is, especially to those who implement their motions on transaction. Let's say, for example, MiND Token eventually launch, right? And and someone get involved, maybe with, like, let's say, 2 BNB, and he's not left with, let's say, for example, 0.5 BNB, and he start going crazy. I think MiND Token will have a solution to calm him down, right?
You know, we've always from day one, you know, Stefan and I wanted to make, like, if you look at how our tokenomics are set up, it's obvious we're not a cash grab. If you look at how our staking portals are set up, you know, our lowest cost to the investor is $50. And we did that because we wanted people to have access to the services. So there's no cap on the 12-month pool. You can stake as much as you want in there and collect those APYs. But, you know, if you don't have that financial power, you can still get in a 1-month pool. You can get the services you need. But Stefan and I always said we would keep a kind of a slush fund, we call it, around, where if somebody's in crisis and they need help, we're going to help them. You know, unless we feel like we're being gamed in some way. And so you can always reach out to us. Oh, don't talk when you're driving your truck on the hump.
Yeah,
man.
I'm here. I'm past the hump, and I'm not looking. I'm on hand free. But yeah, basically that was one of the main reasons we brought this out, is I could only access these services through the company I work for now. And I really wanted to, and Ed as well, really wanted to make sure that anybody could get these services, not just people that worked in a corporate environment.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So on that note, I think we've covered just about everything.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think let's get down to a question from the community. Before I'm going to do that, I just want to say a big shout out to Gus. Gus, how you doing, man?
Oh, thank you very much. No, I'm doing pretty good. We're staying busy, as always.
Awesome. Good to have you around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I think it's time for us now to get question from I know a lot of people here are so desperate to know or to get their question answered. So I'm gonna start with, let's see, Moonshine.
Moonshine.
Yeah.
I know Moonshine.
Hi, Skate, Monkey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Hi, Stefan. So
Stefan's driving his truck.
Yeah. How you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How are your girls doing? So
they're doing good. Sorry, yeah. My son and my daughter are both doing really good.
Okay. So I actually just wanted to say something about the MiND token. I want to ask, yeah, it's going to be an online stuff and all that. So I just wanted to say something. How about you have a way in your app whereby maybe I'm in Africa or I'm in Nigeria and I need an online health attention, and maybe I just don't want to have it online. I want a physical checkup, like a tracker, a MiND token tracker, to track the nearest hospital or the nearest health facility close to where I am. Would that be possible? Or what do you think?
It sort of already exists through LifeWorks. LifeWorks has a network of subsidiary companies, and it also has a network of general practitioners, therapists, and lawyers. And I mean, you know, of course, they're not going to be everywhere. But but in a lot of cases, if you, so say you, you know, you've seen your GP, and your GP says, you know, on telemedicine, and they say, listen, you need a physical exam. I can't further diagnose you without a physical exam or blood work or what have you. They often have somebody in their network in your area. And so if you're in a socialized system, then it's just a matter of a referral and a connection. However, if you're in a system like in the United States where you pay for service every time, it often comes with referral discounts as well. So just having LifeWorks as that first point of contact for legal globally, and for mental and basically everything except the fitness and financial advisory. There's often referral discounts and connections with people that the LifeWorks system trusts. So yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I think having a track will be very good. And let me just go straight to something else I wanted to know. You know, not everyone, like you said, might want to have the life work, success, all the health stuff. And but what I actually notice is that people love inspirational quotes. People want to hear something to help them calm their nerves, especially during this bearish market. Everyone is talking about it here and there. I also have someone in my community who always drops daily quotes and all that, just to help us cope and calm our mind. So I was actually wondering, would you have like maybe a daily routine in all your social media where investors can subscribe to? Maybe you can place a small percent of tax. Trust me, they are going to subscribe and pay that tax just to access those inspirational quotes, and just to show that you still have concern, even for those who do not have access to the life works. What do you think about that?
That's really interesting. I'm writing it down.
That's an interesting
It is a good
idea.
idea.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. You know, we have a little bit of that direction going on already with our conceptualization for the NFT game, because of course, you know, given that we're, you know, health themed, we want our NFT game to be rather calming. We don't want something chaotic and frenetic. We want it relaxed, you know. And so that was somewhere where we were looking to integrate things like that, you know, daily quote, as, you know, you open the app to play the game and here's your daily quote, and that sort of stuff. That said, you know, that's months down the line before we'd be ready for something like that. So I like the idea. I want to actually take that to our community manager, Jem, because there's things going on there that we'll be sharing with you in the coming weeks. She's going to be most likely heading up something within MiND Token that's very, very unique and cool. Yeah, I know. You go back to driving now. I stopped. Stefan's telling me to stop. I have to stop now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Caleb. Nice
to see you again.
Stefan.
Thanks for the question. Great stuff. So let's also get a question. Let me see. Anderson. Trying to find him. Okay, here you are. Anderson, you're muted. You want to ask a question now?
Man, how you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Good, man.
Great, man. So let me just go straight to my question. So your utility, you know, the utility of the token is one of the factors that gives credibility to a project. So my question is, what is the utility and the role of your token in the ecosystem? And also, how can user earn more of your token through the incentive program, if there is?
What is our utility? Well, our utility is access to the world's largest global wellness company, as well as staking. And when we talk about partnerships, you know, we offer two utilities to partners, both the LifeWorks utility of, you know, mental, legal, physical, mental help. And then, you know, especially if you're a project that doesn't have a staking system, you know, you're able to get a staking system where, you know, your holders are locking up a portion of your supply. They're getting some APYs, and you know, it's going to add something interesting to their projects as well. So those are the two base utilities. You know, down the line, we're going to have the NFT artisan and charity aspect, as well as working towards our, MiND token inspirational, if you will, NFT game. And I think there was a two-phase to that question. Again, we don't have reflections or anything in the system. We didn't want that down pressure, especially since we've got the APYs and the staking pools already. We didn't want to add reflections in that.
I think it had to do with referrals, possibly.
Yeah, he was mentioning that as well. We are going to have a referral system in our front end. It'll come in probably a week or two after launch. We're going to have to code that into the front end, whereby users are incentivized to, promote the token among their friends. And so basically giving us emails that we can send messages to and things like that. We haven't worked out yet how the person who's doing that promoting is going to benefit from it. It may affect the APYs, or it may be kind of an airdrop system. We've got to look at it. We've got roughly 15% of the supply that's going to be locked in stages to support the staking system. But as time goes on, as we get a few people who decide to unstake early and take that penalty gets fed back into the system as well. So we might be able to draw a little bit from there to help incentivize people to put the word out for us. And in order to do that, of course, you'd have to be staked in our system, right? And so we kind of put it behind that little bit of a paywall, if you will.
Yeah, I must say this has been a great AM so far, man. I'm really impressed. And for one thing, there was something you said at the beginning of your presentation about you and Stefan being financing rather the projects with your own budget. Yeah, so that's something that's really encouraging. And for a fact, it states only one thing, that you put so much faith in this project. You believe so much in this project. And if you should put such faith in this project, trust me, even the investors too want to put such faith in that project. So I just want to add a little to it. I don't know if there is like a background history or background story to why this project is being carried out by you and Stefan.
Well, like Stefan was mentioning, when we started talking about this, he'd been dealing with a divorce, and he'd used LifeWorks because he works for a fish farming company called Cermak, and they have LifeWorks EAPs. And for me, I came from a kind of a rough start in life. I was homeless pretty young. There was a lot of addiction, and I experienced some violence growing up, and I myself went through some addiction stuff. When I was 24 years old, I cold turkeyed, and I went into a few years of therapy, and I did a lot of group therapies, and I worked really hard at building up my landscaping business and preparing, because I wanted kids, but I wanted to be in a financially sound place before I did that. And so I didn't even have my first kid until I was 35 years old, just to make sure that my head was right, my heart was right, my finances were right. And so, for me, I've, through my business, I've always hired some of the more rough around the edges kind of people, in the hopes that I could help mentor them or help guide them towards, a better way of living their lives. And so this kind of thing is right up my alley. I run a meme group on Facebook, and it's not very big. It's a locals group. There's maybe 250 members or something. But over the course of the last 7 years, we've raised over $10,000 just in that little group that we put out to a Christmas charity that we do in honor of one of our founding members of that group who's now passed away. And so, this is it's a natural progression for me, to be honest.
Wow, I hate to butt in.
I couldn't have said it better. He said it awesome.
Yeah. I hate to butt in, but I'm pretty much sold the fact that you're sharing a piece of your life and how you're applying that to this token, this ecosystem. I think that's so commendable that when people can share, just some of the things that we went through in life and the struggles, and just seeing how you overcame. And I could just see how that things that you experience and the passion that you have for this ecosystem that you're building. I think it's awesome. I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm just sold on that. Not many people can come up to the platform and share those life experiences and really being open to, especially when it comes to addiction. And I think that you coming forefront and sharing that with the community and the investors here, I think that's commendable, bro.
I appreciate
very,
you,
very
man.
commendable, man.
Oh yeah, no, he's worked really hard over the last years to become the guy he is. I'll say that straight up.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, man. Thanks so much for the question, for the answers.
Thanks for that, Anderson. Up next, we have Greg.
Thank you very much, Caleb. Hello, guys. How are you guys doing? Hi, Anderson. So quick question, yeah. I have a concern in that the major utility offered by MiND token, has to be your partnership with LifeWorks. And say for any reason, probably policy wise or a clamp down on cryptocurrencies or any which way, the partnership appears to be severed, or you guys no longer can work together. How then do you intend to say push
I can
further
answer that.
or all right.
Yeah. So I started this corporation last November. So it's a legally registered incorporated company. I then went to LifeWorks with Ed, and we hired them and retained them as any other company would in their business. So essentially, unless we break the rules that we've spent months and months in meetings with them in, right? Like we actually go somewhere and sell their service. We're just like any other company in their global partnering, right? So they can't just come to us and say, no, sorry, they can't break the contract that I've signed my life away on, basically, because I'm bound by tens and thousands of dollars to make sure that my corporation has access to these services.
So yeah, usually when corporations have say agreements or and all of this agreements with health firms like that. Usually, I don't know the kind of agreement you guys signed, yeah, but I feel when most of these agreements are set up, it is usually with staffs and a couple of other it's always quite specified. So I'm trying to find out now if it is specified in your contract that most of the people or the persons that would have access to these services are probably via the crypto route or
Employees? No,
investors.
That's the best part about the partnership we made with LifeWorks is they went and we changed our contract specifically to not call our members employees. They're members. So anybody who is a member of our community is able to access the EAP services. And we classify a member as somebody who has entered our staking system or purchased one of our NFTs. And through months and months of negotiations with them, that's what both of us have decided are a good route for us to go. And they changed our legal contract. That it's probably about 17 pages I had to go through an initial and sign to actually make it legal.
Yeah, and they have a legal team that keeps tabs on us as well. And so, their big concerns with the things that they're worried about is misrepresentation of LifeWorks brand. Okay, and so at any given time, we forward any majorly published stuff to them for their approval, I guess, just to make sure that we're not crossing any lines or misrepresenting them. And the other thing is that we do not sell directly sell their services. And so that's why we have these utilities tied to staking. We have them tied to NFTs and so on, because it's just those are the key points where we could breach the contract. That said, they have their eyes on us, and we are very, very open with them about what we're doing and how we're doing it. As I say, we've had many, many meetings with them, and they've they've done a lot for us. Like Stefan was saying, they changed the legal contract so that it would apply directly to us. They have rolled back their onboarding code so that we could more easily create an onboarding system. They've just been awesome. Part of me thinks that we're kind of they want to see how we do, to see how hard they're going to get behind us, because obviously a lot of big companies are heading into crypto right now, and why wouldn't they consider the same thing? So I think we kind of presented an opportunity to them to see how something like this might play out without them having to actually really invest. But that said, we're a signed contract with them that has been adjusted for this purpose. And so I honestly have, and we're not misrepresenting them in any way, nor would we wish to. So I really don't foresee that as being an issue. I would say, though, that, as we mentioned earlier in the AMA, there are other wellness companies. We are a corporation, and so while we don't intend to leave LifeWorks at all, there is the potential to add other wellness companies to our roster, so to speak, especially if we start finding that we have countries with high demographics of crypto users who want these services and LifeWorks can't provide them. Then we would start to seek another party for that, and we can do that, which is nice. So
I think that works, because I was pretty much concerned, about some of the legalities that might make LifeWork rescind, seeing that cryptocurrencies and the laws surrounding crypto is still kind of murky, still kind of muddy, and
That's right.
it's possible that private firms might want to find loopholes that benefit them at the expense of the other party. So I think your responses are quite spot on. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Caleb.
No problem. Yeah, the best part about it, that's one thing, and I'll say it out loud so everybody hears. Is LifeWorks isn't paid in crypto in any way, shape, or form. We pay them right out. We pay them cash. They get cash fiat money.
Yeah.
So that's where the crypto side of it is our market. Those are the people we're targeting. But the business behind it, the money comes right out of my pocket. The money comes right out of Ed's pocket. We pay the fees.
So far.
I want to add too. If we're tracking and LifeWorks is tracking the adoption rate that we're getting with this, right? If we end up having 1 million subscribers to LifeWorks through our platform, that's going to open up a huge doorway to other companies. Like, it might not even be healthcare. It might be something else. They might say, hey, like, you guys have killed it in this space. You guys are bringing millions of people to this LifeWorks platform. Somebody else might come reaching out to us, or we might reach out to somebody else and try to integrate their company into our projects as well. So
yeah, and they do talk about us behind the scenes. When we first opened our Twitter, and I just made the Twitter, and I didn't post anything. My first Twitter post was just 2 eyeballs looking, and then I left it because we weren't ready to bring it to market yet. I was just organizing for when we were. And all of a sudden I get followed by a blue check. I've got like 3 followers, and then I get followed by another blue check, and I'm going, what the hell is going on? Well, it turns out that these are subsidiary companies of LifeWorks that are randomly finding us on Twitter before we've done any promotions. And so there's definitely discussion about us. We had one major blue check addiction company and their CEO both followed us. And that's pre-marketing. So their eyes are on us, and if we were doing anything wrong, you can rest assured that we would have heard from them by now.
Thanks for that.
I think your responses
Greek. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Greek.
Oh yeah, I was just commending the responses. I think some of these things are well thought out on your end, so it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for your responses. Thank you very much, Caleb, for the opportunity.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
you.
that as well. So we'll just get a few more questions since we're running out of time. Let's get a question from Luchis. Luchis, you're muted.
Hi, Caleb.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, MiND app team, MiND token team.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
You can call me Ed. It's easier.
Okay. Looking at
One day I'll
your.
get him to change his name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just concerned about what you have in your white paper. You talked about an app which you will be launching soon. And here it states that the app makes it easy for anyone to do exchange fiat for tokens, access staking, and NFT. So my concern is about the exchange fiat, like the fiat exchange. How does it work? Is it going to be like a person-to-person transaction like Binance?
No. What we're looking at is is creating an app whereby a third party auto stakes and then unauto stakes for the end consumer, so that they're able to purchase, they buy a $50 value in MiND token, and then there's a $5 staking fee, and then maybe there's another $5 fee for the third party provider. That individual would then stake, or his system would auto stake, and then you would get the onboard email from LifeWorks, and you would be able to do it that way. Because again, we can't sell the service, but we can sell staking, and your average consumer is not going to be able to dive into BSC or wherever and work all of that out. And the reason that we wound up with this idea was from another project that I was in 2017, and they had created an online platform that provided gig services, and they ran into major regulatory issues because they wanted to use their token as the native token in their gig economy, and they couldn't do it because of global regulations. They had major trouble with it, and so their solution was to use a third party who would accept the fiat and then make payouts in their token, and then they'd bring it back the other way as well. And it's a system that worked out for them and kept them out of regulatory non-compliance. And so that's the general gist of that. It would be an auto staking system. The other way we could do it would be a fiat to NFT, but then you got blockchain stuff, and it's a bit of a complication. And so I'm not sure that we'd head that way, but that's the basic gist of the onboarding app. It would be a little bit it'd be slightly pricier for the person with fiat, but when you consider the cost of a private service in this space, like I mentioned earlier about one service that, when we were doing our market research on what the actual value of these things is, you're looking at $300, $350 Canadian for 4 therapy sessions in a month online. So if somebody has to pay an extra $5 or $10 to a third party for this staking system, and they get the bulk of their money back at the end of it, then they're not in any real loss because they've received a serious utility.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, I think I got the answer. Fiat has to do with, cash. So I wanted to.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And our white paper is being a little bit revamped right now. Our community manager is an excellent writer, and so she's going over and schooling Stefan and I real bad. And so that should be a little clearer in the coming days when that gets released.
All right. Thank you. Big ups.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luchis. Let's get the last question from Light.
Hello, there's a test question on the community. Should we read that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This question is coming from Critical Mindset. He said, since your project is mainly focused on professional offering their services, expertise to their customers and patients, what will be the mode of payment after the professionals offer their services? Will the others pay them using the project native token, and will customers be charged on the basis of time hours to spend getting their services fulfilled by the health therapists, doctors, practitioner or the escrow mode
Okay.
of payment and this kind of stuff.
I think I get what you're saying. So again, LifeWorks does all of the legality stuff. They hire the doctors, they keep them on retainer, et cetera, et cetera. Our corporation pays for the LifeWorks subscription based on users per country. Okay, so that's why we have our staking fee set up there, and the early withdrawal fee on the staking is to support those systems. And so, if you're looking at, if you have a bunch of people that are staking and they're paying $5 per stake, but you've got 20% of them using it, then that covers the overheads for the entire system. And so LifeWorks makes those pays. They have, like I say, they have 15,000 corporations that use them either for employee assistance benefits packages, or they use them to manage their pension plans. And out of that, they collect fees on 26 million people through the 15,000 corporations. Okay. And so what that does is it creates a massive volume of money that means that LifeWorks can keep these doctors and lawyers and so on a constant retainer. They're salaried out, they're paid. And so we pay on a monthly basis based on that month's user numbers and what country they're in, because the services vary in cost from country to country. Like ironically, Canada is the most expensive country on our roster so far. And so, that's the reason that we didn't go live with 60 countries, because we're financing a lot of, most of this out of our own pocket. But we can't pay for 60 countries without selling my house and being divorced and kicked out and all that stuff. So, I think that covers it.
I think that answered the question. Let's give a chance to Light. I haven't heard him speak before. Light, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, thanks, Caleb. And
hey, Light.
So good to have this great presentation from Stefan and the other team.
Thank you.
I just want to know, in crypto space, one basic fact is that investors would really want to know how secure that they were investing in projects based on everything that they've had from the project and their research. That will surely make them to invest in the project. But the thing is, in this MiND token project, I just want to know how secure are investors while investing in this project.
How secure are the investors when they invest in this project? Well, again, we're really scalable. Our starting market cap isn't going to be that big. Our ask isn't that big. A quick glance at our tokenomics makes it obvious that there's no cash grabbing going on here. Our contracts will be audited by Safeton. We're KYCing with a non-adox. We've got people like DGEM and Conda Labs who would not play ball with us if we weren't legit. They'd run us off, quite frankly. And so, I think that, when you combine all of these different elements and the fact that, we're a registered corporation, we can be sued. There's literally no reason for us to want to have any risk in the system at all. I'm a little bit paranoid about that, in fact, because if we had a staking exploit or something terrible like that, as I mentioned early on, people's well-being lies in the balance. I do not want to find out that somebody took their life as a result of something going wrong in our project. I take that really, really seriously. That's a terrifying thought. That's the one thing that scares me about a project like this, is that if something does go wrong, this isn't a dog Inu coin. This is people's lives and well-being that are at stake here. And so, we take that sort of stuff really, really seriously. And that's why we're going through the extra steps of KYC. I mean, realistically, we don't need to KYC. We own a corporation. You can Google me, it's easy. Also, our contract developer, he's a personal friend of mine. We've been trading for a couple of years together. We're in a private little group, and he's built contracts for many projects. Our staking contract has been adapted from previous staking contracts that he's put out there, and none of them have been exploited. They've been audited by multiple companies. It's just a parameters change and a couple of small lines of code that have changed to put that together. So I'm in a really comfortable place with it. Like I say, we've been plugging away at looking for potential holes in the project for a solid year now, and so I feel like we're in a good place for that. I'm not afraid at this point.
Also remember as well, like, you can bypass a crypto KYC, in different ways. You could bypass an audit or whatever, right? But when it comes to a company like LifeWorks, MiND Token has a registered company, and they are registered with LifeWorks, which is an actual in real life company. So there's no getting around those things. So I mean, there's so many layers of security when it comes to this project. So that's why I chose to come on board and help them out, is because I love what they're doing. I think it's very sustainable. I think it's very profitable for everybody, and also this amazing utility that they're giving to people at dirt cheap prices is just awesome.
Thanks,
Yeah, thanks so much for the wholesome answers. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you, Light. Appreciate you.
Thanks for that, right? Good stuff. So I think this is how far we can go, Stefan and Cole. Is there any other thing you guys?
It's only 2 hours. I had to run. This is the first AMA I've had to run away to pee.
Man, I mean, I was actually enjoying the conversation and the interaction. I wish I could stay here for more 3 hours, because it's really fun. I mean, not just about MiND Token itself. You guys have been so transparent. I mean, I wish we could see people full around like this in the space, being so transparent and being so real with people. I think we won't have things like rug pulls and scams and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you guys, great stuff here, and you guys should keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing a great stuff. But before we put this straight close, do you guys have any final words you may want to say to the investors in here?
I would just go back to the fact that we're a year in this. We're self-invested. We're fully public. We're a registered corporation. We've got amazing people in the background between DGEM and Conda Labs and my own little circle. We're making waves in the space. We've started off really slow and organic, and we did that very, very intentionally. And now we're starting to build up towards that crescendo. When you look at what our ask is, it's pretty easy to see that, there's a very good chance we're going to fill really fast. There's also, our group membership is fully organic. There are no bots. There are no deleted accounts. We're upwards of 25% interaction, in a group of 450 people. I saw 82 online yesterday. So it's, people are talking to me that I never even heard of before, but they know who I am. And that tells me that we're making waves here. So I think we're doing really, really well. And I think we'll continue to do well. We've just got this, we've managed to put together an amazing network of investors, an amazing network of, of people like DGEM and Conda Labs helping us in the background. I feel like we're on excellent footing. I'm really happy with where we're sitting right now.
That's really amazing. Stefan, do you have anything you may want to say as well to the investors?
He's probably picking his kid up right now.
Okay. What about you, Nelks? Do you want to say something before we round this up?
Yeah. I just want to really say a big thank you to Stefan and to the guys, especially I tried to read out your name. I'm just saying Monkey, but I don't want to call
Skate.
him Monkey.
It's Skate Monkey. See, I'm a 90s kid.
Monkey.
Okay, Skate.
Skate Monkey. Yeah. I've had that handle since LimeWire WinMX days. I've carried this exact same brand all the way through everything I've ever done. So
sure.
if you see a skate monkey anywhere else, it's 99.9% going to be me.
Okay, so I'll just call you Skate then. So I
Alright.
love the sincerity, the transparency. I also love the fact that you're able to share your own personal experience with us. So it gives a lot of investors, me especially, it gives me this confidence that the people we are dealing with are not just people that looks like someone that is going to rock pool or do an honeypot for us, but these are persons, real persons that can feel the pain of the investors and feel what it means to go through a lot and invest it in a project. So this is a good one. And you can see the whole community member here, 125 participants on this channel, on this voice call. They're here. If you can go through our community test, you see the activities going down, feeling they're just so hype about it. They love what you guys have presented, and we're looking forward to your pre-sale, looking forward to whatever you have in store. I believe that they're all already on your Telegram channel now. So thank you so much for us this evening. Thank you so much. We really appreciate
I appreciate you guys having us. Thank you. Appreciate you too, man.
So I think just for us to draw this to a close, I'm gonna stop the recording. And for you guys, the teams are generous enough to give out a prize to the community. So I have posted a link on the group. All you have to do is join the Telegram channel, follow us on Twitter, like and retweet, follow us on YouTube and an announcement channel. Then you're gonna be part of the people being around the spin and wheel. So far I'm gonna stop the recording in here.